but they're smiling and clapping as we begin a Monday morning, getting these markets up and running. 3, 2, 1, we are off. Here we go. As I say, we lost 1,000 points or thereabouts. I think it was a doggy pushing the button there. That's cool. The big board and the Dow 30 stocks. Let's take a look at the big board if we can. And, oh, yes, lots of red, as you can see. We're right out of the chute. We're down 256 points on the Dow, down about 0.75%, 0.8%. Let's take a look at the S&P. There's the 30 board for you, all down at this very early stage. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 if we can, see where we are there. Yep. Same story, down close to 1%, down 34 points at 4,023. And the NASDAQ really getting hit hard by those rising bond yields, down 1% even, down 121 on the NASDAQ. And as we talk about the NASDAQ, let's take a look at the big tech. And as expected, they are moving lower. Apple, the biggest loser among the big names, down 1 1/3%. But Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, Microsoft, all moving lower, anywhere from 0.5 to 0.75%. And staying on big tech, good morning, Susan Lee.
Hey,
what
good
you have
morning.
for us?
Yeah, so, you were talking about Friday's sell-off. I counted $1.2 trillion in assets that were lost in that 1,000-point sell-off. So we know that Jerome Powell is getting more aggressive there at the Federal Reserve, more blunt as well on economic pain to come. And you also have to remember that we are in the slow summer months. So many people on vacation, lower trading volume. So this usually exaggerates some of the moves that we're seeing. I was looking at the probabilities this morning on the Merck, and 70% of Wall Street thinks that the Fed will hike rates by 75 basis points next month. And that's actually up from the 50% before Jackson Hole, Jay Powell. Now, if you want to look at big tech, I would say the counter is look at travel stocks, and all these economically sensitive sectors also down as well.
Yep. I think the 30% who believe in 50 basis points are in denial, but that's another story. Let's take a look at Tesla.
All over the place.
Elon Musk talking about the future of electric cars. What's he saying?
Well, of course. Now, what I found actually interesting is the electric car king says that the world needs more oil and gas right now, but he does say that by 2030, 50%, half of all cars will be electric, and there could be a new Tesla factory announced by year end. Where will it be? Indonesia has been raising their hands, saying we would love to have one over here. So come on over, Elon Musk. Now, he was speaking at the Norway Energy Conference and saying that at this point, at this time, we actually need more oil and gas, not less. And he's not demonizing fossil fuels. Some of those comments I found really surprising, but he says that there must be a clear path to a sustainable energy future. Also, by the way, Norway has a $1.2 trillion sovereign wealth fund, one of the largest in the world, and that money made off the back of oil, of course, that was found in the sea. Now, Europe dealing with a Russia shutdown on those pipelines, nat gas at 14-year highs, and Tesla is down along with the rest of the big tech. And I would say also the electric car trade as well. Higher rates means that there's less money to go around, especially for a lot of these growth companies, which are measured and sold on the future earnings that they make.
Exactly. I think Elon Musk playing to his audience in Norway. We still need lots of oil and gas because that's basically their economy.
You wonder why
let's check back
the
on
electric car king is speaking at the Norway Energy Conference, which I just found astounding and interesting.
That's another story. Let's check Bitcoin. As you can see, down $668, right at 20,000. It was below 20,000, right at that 20,000 mark now.
Yeah, so sub 20,000, I think the lowest that we've seen for Bitcoin since the end of July. And that's because risk assets, fast money receptacles like Bitcoin, like cryptocurrencies are being sold off when there's money being taken out of the market. So Bitcoin at sub 20,000, I think the lowest since mid-July. The lowest that we've seen this summer was 17,600. So, you've gotten a bit of a recovery here, but we are down 5 straight days now for Bitcoin, along with broader stocks, of course. So that correlation, that tight correlation continues, where Bitcoin kind of trades like a NASDAQ 100 tech stock, which, as we've seen, is supposed to be, and it's supposed to be decentralized, right, away from government policy and mainstream.
Apparently not. All right, and Susan, Meta has settled. I haven't heard this name in a long time. They've settled the Cambridge Analytica lawsuit. And take me through the details.
I would say outperformance. I mean, you're up in a down market, right? So quietly settling on Friday evening. Facebook parent Meta agreeing to that to settle that lawsuit. that accused it of allowing third parties, including Cambridge Analytica, to access private user data. And of course, Cambridge Analytica, consulting firm that worked on Trump's 2016 campaign, improperly obtaining, exploiting, they say, Facebook data. No wrongdoing being admitted here for Meta, but they also paid fines in the U.S. and the UK over this scandal, having to change its privacy practices. And the fact that it's up in a down market, I think, is a positive on the bottom line.
Yeah, get that issue out of the way. All right, let's take a look at Apple. Well, there's a lot of chatter for sure ahead of their event coming up, right?
Yeah, so we have Bloomberg reporting that Apple has filed trademarks for any VR, AR. That is the direction of the company, according to Bloomberg reporting, for next year at least. Now, as for this upcoming Apple launch event on September the 7th, I was reading through Dan Ives' notes on the iPhone maker, and he sounded very bullish. He's saying it's a positive that, first of all, we're getting this launch event in September, especially with the COVID lockdown, zero COVID policy over in China. 90 million iPhone 14 handsets he expects to ship. That's a big deal. That's a big number,
wow,
especially in this high inflationary, slowing economic growth environment. Still calling, from what I see, a 220 market cap or 220 price target on Apple stock upcoming. So you still could get $60 on the upside. Isn't that impressive?
Incredible. Yeah. And when Dan Ives talks, people listen, that's for sure. Susan, thank you very much. Let's take a look at the big board. We are down, as you can see, 200 points. We haven't added any downward momentum. In fact, we were down 250. So hanging around, down just over 0.5% on the Dow right now. Let's take a look at some of the Dow winners. I'm not sure how many there are, but we'll take a look, see who's on the board this morning. Well, there you go. The energy stocks, Chevron, Salesforce.com also moving higher, barely. Intel, the chip maker, also just above the watermark. IBM Visa turning negative. Take a look at the S&P 500 winners, more energy companies. ExxonMobil up 1.5%. Netflix, how about that? Up in this market. Etsy also, the homemade crafts online site, up this morning. NASDAQ. Zoom Video up 1.5%. Netflix, as we said, up 1.25%. Amazon and Charter Communications also moving higher in what is a down market.